So let's introduce our guest for the morning. We have in the studio Kwabena De Mogi. He's a member of parliament for Botiano English Amanfo. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.
And we'll have to start from parliament because Mr. Kwabena is said to be ready to defend MP's bribery claim before parliament. And the story on page 16 of the paper basically just talks about the supposed allegations that were raised by a former majority leader in parliament, Bartman, who has stated that he is ready to appear before the Privileges Committee of Parliament or the leadership of the House to defend his statement that some members of the House take bribes. He said he will be ready to provide evidence to the committee or the leadership for their perusal. And I will definitely be providing evidence, he told an Accra-based radio station. At a two-day seminar in Kofodia for representatives of non-governmental organizations, Mr. Kwabena is alleged to have said that some MPs took bribes in the performance of their duties. He has since come out to deny that his statement was misconstrued. Mr. De Mogi.
Yes. Good morning to your cherished viewers, and it's been a long time that I've been to your program. Yes. For me, as a member of parliament, you see, these are state institutions, and parliament is just one of the organs of government. As we sometimes come with issues concerning judiciary, and it goes to the executives, parliament is just one aspect of the organs. And the difficulties that any institutions or country face, it cuts across. So if people are saying, or the person talking is not an ordinary member of parliament, he was a former minority leader and a current a leading member of the NDC in parliament. So for me, the Privileges Committee, which I'm a member, of course, is not a committee just to prosecute, but maybe you said something somewhere and you have to come and expatiate and tell us the details what you mean, because sometimes, you know, what you say and how people hear it and how people report it, sometimes there may be some variations because it's communication. So yes, it's good to listen to the leader and get his real explanation of the issues, and that is important. But because as far as I'm concerned, I've been a member of parliament for just about over a year now, but I've not seen any issue of that nature. Let me give you one typical example. I've worked in a lot of organizations before joining parliament. You see, but when it comes to issues related to those areas, you see that, let's say, assuming that you work in the telecom sector and issues of telecom comes in, it is clear, you see that those people who are experts in those areas take on the debate more than those who are not experts in those areas. It happens. And sometimes, as an ordinary person in the field, you may begin to think, is this one having a special interest in the issue? It cuts across. So, for me, yes, he's been a member for several years. Let's listen to him, because the other side of the issue is that I heard him saying somewhere that that's not exactly what he said. Do you get the point?
I get your point.
Yeah, because I've not taken any bribe from
anybody. We'll continue the discussions. There will be issues that we'll be looking at. Lobbying, for example, that he said that people perhaps sometimes misconstrue what they need to do in terms of lobbying as to get their issues, all their bills passed, all their subjects raised before parliament or expertly looked at in parliament, to giving out some handouts just to make sure that their issues are projected. Okay, so we'll be looking at that and how that is done in other jurisdictions. We'll be joined by the Member of Parliament for Asante Akim North, Kwejo Ajimaimba, is around. He'll be joining us soon. And, well, Honorable, welcome. So we're taking a short break and then we'll have him into the discussion. So we'll have to start the discussions again, or recommence the discussions, so to speak. And Asante Akim North Member of Parliament has joined us, Ajiman Kwejo Ba.
Kwejo Ba Ajiman.
Okay, Kwejo Ba Ajiman. Okay. Kwejo Ban Ajiman. Now, your comments on Mr. Bartman being ready to face any committee in the House or the leadership to explain what he said that has been reported in the media that he feels has been misconstrued.
Roland, I don't think it's at the wrong path. He's hit the nail right at the point.
That you guys take bribes?
No, that he's ready to face any committee. He's ready to come to the privileged committee. He's ready to provide evidence and prove to what he alleges. Because after his pronouncement, there are a whole lot of debate, hue and cry against MPs. Now, when you're on the street and they recognize that you are MP, somebody will just become on you, give me my share of the bribe that
Mr. Ajiman, that's not true. Is it?
I'm telling you, I'm on the streets and I know what's going on. But the issue is, me, I won't disprove what he said. Me, for one, I've never been enticed with a bribe before. I've never been given bribe before as a member of parliament. And he being a leader, a big man in parliament, because he's been in parliament over 20 years. Since 1992, he's been there. He's seen this parliament. He's seen it all from 92 till date. He has been a minority leader. He has been a majority leader. And if the crocodile comes from the water and tell you that the crab is dead, who am I to deny him his statement? So, as he said, he's ready to prove it. Let him come and prove. Me, it's not about MPs. It's not about Ghana. It's not about me. It's about Ghana. How the entire system has been polarized and all that. Let's call a spade a spade. If it's true that MPs takes bribes, let him expose us. If that's not the truth, the committee will vindicate us. So for me, it's one thing. The till end is the truth.
Okay. Mr. De Mogi, I guess all these discussions have come into sharp focus because of issues perhaps about how public officials also need to behave when they are in the House or when they are in public office, etc. But we know that there are practices that really are even more entrenched in more developed democracies, where we have lobbying that is undertaken for or by groups for certain issues that will come before the House. And I have been a parliamentary correspondent before. I won't say that I've seen MPs take bribes or whatever, but I've seen that groups come in there and they do lobbying, and they have to start from the leadership, go to the leadership of the various committees, talk to them, and have some level of consensus building or dialogue with them, even with the committee members, etc. How do we make sure that that is not misconstrued to mean that perhaps then MPs are giving bribes or they are influenced in a certain way, not necessarily only taking bribes?
Yes, yes. These are practices that we are learning from other countries, because if you compare our democracy with other advanced democracies, definitely we must learn. I always say that there's no new things anywhere in this world. We are only reinventing the wheel, picking from somewhere. We are doing cut and pasting. So, yes, we must face the reality. And the reality is that, you see, even in certain areas, the leadership or parliament itself don't have the expertise in certain areas. So, let's say, for instance, there are issues that we've been discussing for several days now. I'm talking about the plant breeders bill, where people are messing up with GM and all those things. Yes, the scientists that thinks that is too crucial to them need to educate the members of parliament. In any case, if after all the consultations, whatever we take it, whether it is bribery, whether it is lobbying, in any case, there is no legal framework as to what is lobbying and what is bribery. So for instance, it is the way we respect ourselves, the way we look at ourselves. Because I don't know how much can a company give me bribe.
Or any agency, not necessarily.
Or any agency bribe me not to speak my mind. I don't get it, because in any case, if after all the consultations, it is not the committee members alone who are going to debate the issues on the floor.
It comes to the
then you have to go through and bribe everybody, because you'll be surprised that there's an expert in communication which is on a communication committee. You understand me? There's an expert in parliament in communication or in agriculture who is not even a member of agriculture committee. So if you go and say that you are bribing even all the committee members of agriculture, so that whatever you want to go can push through, there's somebody sitting somewhere who is not a member of the agri committee who understands the issues very well.
Better.
Yes. So the moment it comes to the floor, you kick against it. Then I mean, how is it going to happen?
So you're saying there's no room for that? But
you see, it's difficult. You may try to push your issues through, but the bottom line is that at the end of the day, it is going to be based on consensus on the floor.
Let's not lose sight of this. MPs or Parliament as an embodiment is not well resourced, right? The budget that's supposed to come to Parliament is not forthcoming, and let's say we as new MPs need to build our capacity. We need to get the capacity building. We need to have all the necessary resources to work effectively and efficiently. Let's take, for instance, as he said, if an agency wants a bill to be passed, wants us to go through a draft, you can't sit in Parliament and say maybe after adjournment we take 1 hour, 2 hours to go and deliberate it. We need to have a workshop, and if Parliament, who is supposed to sponsor those workshops, is not in the capacity to offset those bills, and the agency which sees it as necessary, which has the eye of agency that they need this bill to go through, arrange for a workshop for you somewhere, and you go and you come back. I don't think it's a bribe. They are facilitating their work. It happens here. You know, I was a marketing officer here in multimedia. There are some places that when you want to go for business, you need to facilitate it. When you want to get a budget, a whole budget approved for the platform, you need to facilitate people, and I don't see them as bribes.
Now perhaps after all the experiences he's had, do you think that maybe his comments, which he says have been misconstrued, are coming on the heels of maybe a new thinking he feels that maybe also Parliament needs to chart or adopt?
Just as we said, the onus lies on him. His capacity cannot be derailed. He is somebody who has seen it all in Parliament. He has been a minority leader, he has been a majority leader, and anything that comes to Parliament comes from leadership. So maybe what I perceive to be his description of bribe is not what in his understanding he mentioned. So we need to give him time. He's in France. I think he will be back within a week. He said he's ready to face any committee. Let him come with evidence. Let him come with proof, and maybe there is more to what we are seeing. What maybe I might perceive as bribe is not what he has experienced. He has been in it. He's gone through all the mills, and me as a backbencher, nobody can come to me and tell me, "Can you take this money and let's push this thing?" I'm not recognized on that level. So let's leave it to him. He's seen it all. He will come and defend it.
Okay. On the front page of the paper, The Daily Guide, we're being told that Nana declares MPP 2016 race, Otumfuo gives blessing. Front page of the Daily Graphic says Akufo-Addo to break silence on March 20, and Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo on Wednesday undertook a tour of areas in Kumasi. What was the tour for? I'm asking because you're a member of the MPP. I'm not saying that you're a member of Nana Addo's team, though. I'm
a member of the New Patriotic Party, yes. And Nana was our flag bearer. As we are aware, he went on a sabbatical leave and he's returned. I think strategically that is the stronghold of MPP, and I'm not his spokesperson. I'm just deducing from his thoughts. Yeah, because I don't know why he went to Kumasi to greet Otunfo. But as a politician, when you sit afar and see what is happening, you see the strategies, you see the approaches. It tells it all that he
intends contesting.
Definitely.
Okay. What does it say or give in terms of the parity or the platform or equality, so to speak, of the other personalities who perhaps may have intended to contest? Because really nobody really has come out to say I want to contest or not. There's some wishy-washy.
Yeah. You see, somebody, you can't debunk his
approach,
capacity as a former flag bearer. He's been a flag bearer for the party for 2 occasions, and so wherever he goes,
he has a following.
Definitely, there will be a following. There will be the audience, and we shouldn't forget that he was out of the country. So coming just after the Supreme Court ruling and all that, if he's come back, if he's returned to his stronghold, the inferior will be there. The enthusiasm for his followers to welcome him, to root for him will be there. And let's not lose sight that politics is not just what you see on the road. It's a game of psychology, a game of the mind, and these are all things that when you are competing, you try to capitalize on, so that you can be way ahead of your
opponents
or competitors, or however you might classify it. So for me, it's a strategy, and I'm sure he's working within a plan.
Yes, yeah, you're listening to the MPP. So for us, as a member of NDC, we are waiting patiently to see the candidate that will bring. If it's Nana, we are ready for them. But what is important is that I have a problem with the timing of activities, especially with regard to the 6th March activities, the 6th of March. And all that is happening, because we don't want to run a parallel leadership in this country.
What do you mean by that?
That recognition must be there, that we have a presidency in this country.
But nobody says Nana Addo is president. Nobody saying Nana Addo is president.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm only saying that there must be that recognition.
No, but if you make a statement that we shouldn't run a parallel government, then that means there's another set of presidency and another set of
presidency. You've made your points.
All that I'm trying to say is that yes, even in their own constitution, as a political party, they cannot say, today as we speak, he's not the leader of their party. That's one thing that we need to recognize. And also to say that, yes, it is good to have your own strategy. But in doing so, we must be careful not to portray as if we are just... My difficulty in this country is that from January to December, we practice politics. We must learn to give a division of where we need to govern and where we need to do politics. I always say that, left to me alone, we need to give a time frame where political activity need to resume in this country.
But every political party has its own timelines that have been stated in this
constitution. I am
constitution.
talking about a real campaigning issues. I'm talking about.
It's in campaigning. Okay, I want to ask you a question. Now,
my difficulty.
As a member of the NDC,
yes.
Do you feel a bit uncomfortable looking at the very crowd that goes to meet Nanado when he goes to visit the areas?
To where? We've seen serious crowds, even in 2008, December. Have you been to the last rally
of the NPP?
Yes. We've seen serious ones, not these ones.
Which one? The one at Manchagbona?
Serious ones. Very serious one. Very serious one. But as for rallies, let me tell you, everybody will be there, because if there's no activities in Kumasi, and people hear that the nice coming, oh, like, go and listen and hear what he's going to say. You understand me? And don't forget, for me, I don't even not believe in rallies. I don't believe in rallies. Because you are going to gather your own people and talk to them. That's the bottom line. Rallies, you gather your own people and talk to them. But those people who are floating voters, they are sitting down in the houses. They are watching. You understand? They're the critical thinkers.
Do you think that the current state of the economy perhaps also is propelling a lot more people to respond to the chant of Nana? We're being told, according to the report that emanated from Kumasi on Wednesday, that the chant was, or the refrain was, no Nana, no vote.
You see, you must not lose sight of the fact that Kumasi or Ashanti region is the stronghold of the NPP. That you must not lose sight of. You get the point I'm making? So, yes, if somebody moves, just arrived in this country after election petition, he left and came back, and he's not going anywhere, going to the stronghold of NPP. And people are shouting. You don't expect anything more than that. That's the bottom line. And we, as a political party, has given a mandate to rule this country. And our focus is to work and transform this country. And that is the course we are on. I don't know what people mean by the economy of this country. Yes, you can check in this country. You can check the indices of economic indicators of this country and see, apart from depreciation of the cedi, which is a concern to everybody, which indicators are you saying that
inflation is going up?
Agric.
No, compare inflation target.
Interest rates are going up.
Compare it's never true. Compare inflation target, inflation indicators.
And they're very subject to mention. It has a lot of influence on a lot of things, on transport,
let me finish. You're talking about economy of this country. I'm saying that
Mr. De Mogi, are you denying that the economy is not doing well?
I'm saying that there's nowhere in this country, from January to December, you can take it from every year on year, that we don't have difficulties in one time or the other.
You mean the world?
Yeah, no, even in this, I'm talking about this country.
I bet your president
take every year
admitted that we are facing.
Let him have his.
Take every year of this country and take even separate report or their quarterly report and read their quarterly report. They will tell you a specific problem in each quarter. Study this country economy. So what I'm saying is,
so you're saying that because we're having difficulties,
at any point in time
may continue, and still the economy will be tagged as okay,
my brother,
despite the contrary indications that we get from the variables.
What is the contrary indication? What are the variables? I'm saying that yes, there may be one variable which we are having difficulties, but there are a lot of variables that are pointing out to a very good things. He's talking about the agriculture sector, which is very key. As we speak today, if you compare 2012 agriculture growth against 2013, we were not crying in 2012, and we are crying in 2013. We recorded a very high figure compared to 2012. 2012, agriculture recorded 1.3% growth, and in 2013, 3.41%, double the figure. And as we speak now, we have food surplus across the length and breadth of this country. Maize, cereal. I'm telling you the gospel fact. That's the truth. You can go and check from MUFA all the statistics of this country.
You know that's right. No, we import a large chunk of the rice that we eat in Ghana.
I want to talk about the economy. You see, so the point, take all the economic indicators, and even agriculture that is talking about, we take all the staple food in this country. We're talking about the cereals, which is maize, abundance in this country. You have about 320,000 metric tons of maize surplus in this country. Then you go to cassava, about 6.2 million metric tons surplus in this country. You go to yam, the same thing. So the only difficulty we have in this country, which is not today, is a result of our change of taste, which is rice. Even that one, we have increased rice production 60%.
And we're still where we are as far as
that's what I'm saying.
The import dependency.
We are looking at appraisal. We are looking at appraisal. We are appraising the economy, whether we are performing or we are not performing.
And your assessment gives you all these indications?
No, I am telling you, these are facts.
No, I understand all the numbers you said.
Yes.
But the point is that they don't give the right indications at the top. That the interest rates are bad, and you still and all these. And
what are the variations? Okay. What are the variations?
Now I would want to ask you, if Nana has gone on a tour like this, and well, he's going to interact with your 2-4 school children. Every facet of society is represented, and you even have is it the minority leader Oseche Mensah Bonsu, and also Dr. Efri Akoto, who has seen seated along him. What indication does it give to the membership of the party?
You see, that
the party supports one candidate or one personality against the other ones?
When Nana was going to Kumasi, an invitation was thrown to the Ashanti caucus in Parliament that he's going to visit Otumfuo. So some people were picked to accompany him. It's not a solidarity kind of movement. I think if anybody wants to go to Otumfuo and comes to the caucus to need their participation to be part of the delegation,
if Dr. Arthur Kennedy had embarked on the same, would the Ashanti caucus had...
Definitely. I'm an organizer for the Ashanti caucus, so I know what I'm talking of. When anybody, even people who are not party faithfuls, when they want to go there and they need our support, we recognize it and pick delegation to follow suit. But all in all, just as you said, the chance that goes on in town that no vote is really on the ground. That's what the foot soldiers
and the party supporting all these refrains to the detriment of the aspirations of other individuals who would also want to contest the flag bearership position.
I don't think the party has shown any support. The party has not.
Well, not formally, but you have leading members of the party.
They are from the Ashanti caucus, so that's what I told you.
Well, they are leading members of the party. I mean, that cannot be disputed.
Dr. Akoto Efriye is Nana's bosom friend. If you've ever followed Nana Akufo-Addo, wherever he is, he goes with him. So he, for one, if you see him with him, it's no news. He's been there with him throughout his career. And Oseche Mensah is part of the leadership of the Ashanti caucus. And just as I told you, they came to us to send a delegation with Nana. And the truth be told, nobody has thrown in his support or declared that we are out for him. But just as I said, the chant is there. If you go to the grounds, if it's there. If you go to the grassroots, it's there. The delegates, that's what they are saying.
Okay. There's this very gentleman, Dr. Arthur Kennedy, and from his base in the United States, he's always been saying that the actions of the party and various personalities or leaders of the party should give the indication that they want to give a fair chance to any individual who would want to contest the flag bearership race. What do you make of it?
Yeah, I support him. We declare ourselves that we are the people who believes in right democracy. We always cherish with that. So if there is an oncoming contest, we need to give equal rights, equal level of opportunity for everybody who aspires to be a flag bearer, that equal opportunity. And it's been there. There hasn't been any occasion that people have been obstructed from.
But if you take a look at this picture, doesn't this smack of double standards then?
That's what I said initially, that it happens. Role. Let's say if you've been out of your hometown for a long time, and you go and people try to welcome you.
When whoever wants to take the very position of this very individual also come from the same hometown, and you go there, because
who comes from the hometown?
No, you're using this as a generic in terms of the supporter base, okay? And all the personalities who would want to contest all come from this very tradition. The support base entirely is within this very jurisdiction, and as a result of that, you visiting there will tend to give perhaps a very preemptive signal. That is all I'm asking.
But we should bear in mind that even we haven't set time for the flag bearership contest. We don't even know when.
That even makes this one even more premature.
This is just Nana just returned last week, and he said he was going to meet Dotun for, and people chose to welcome him in a certain way. He's entitled to it. We shouldn't lose that sight that he's been a flag bearer. He's run campaigns. He's gone on tours, and he's well recognized by people down there. Let's equate the number of rallies, campaign trails that we've had in the Ashanti region, and see the volume of people that comes to him. So we shouldn't doubt this audience. People would definitely try to come and see him. They've missed him. They've seen him for a long time. There've been a lot of rumors about him, and everybody who
and now he says that March 20 he'll give the indication whether he wants to contest. But we've had some of his spokespeople saying that there's a over 99% chance that he will contest.
But this approach even tells you that he's lacing his boots.
Okay, I see that you're in support of that. So let me just not press any further.
I'm not in support of anything. Nobody has declared his intention. So
formally,
we are just addressing the issue. We are all digressing into it to see the feasibilities, and that
the NDC, you should be shaking your seats.
Not at all. Not at all. At least
because the refrain from the camp of the MPP has been, and actually, if you look at what the statistics have been, that the economy is not doing so well, and so perhaps the NDC government is to blame. And so as a result of that, an alternative MPP government will be better.
Anytime I thought you want to talk to me, you want to go to the economy.
No, I'm not saying that.
And you don't even have the time for us to discuss the economy. But then, let me go to the main issue. Is it what Acquah Kennedy is talking about against what he said? I didn't think he get the question well.
No, these actions give undue advantage.
Yes.
Doesn't create an equal.
You didn't get the question.
Because
it gives undue advantage. That's the point. That these actions give undue advantage, because it is not about a different political party. This is an internal issue, and if you see key members of that particular party joining a particular team, how will you feel? So the bottom line is that they are giving indication to Ghanaians that yes, this is the direction they want to go, and it gives unfair advantage to those who disadvantage to those who are at the background, who maybe there's somebody who have intention. But if you see all your big men, all the leadership, more or less, even the minority leader himself, associating himself with that particular team, what is the signal you are sending to the rest who intend? You do get the point? So it is not the fair ground. That's the point. That's the point. So it's clear that this is the direction, and it's a good indication to we, the NDC, that this is the way they want to go. And it's good that, yes, it's good that if you are able to beat somebody the first, second, yeah, you make yourself ready for the third time. And the third time is good enough, because
how many times
honestly speaking,
came to the race and
honestly speaking,
so that's not a good propaganda. You beat somebody first time, second time, so that third time you definitely beat him. How many times did Atamis contested and won? Atamis came on 2000, he lost it. 2004, he lost it. So that he won the third time. So if you want to do equalization and equate it, then it means Nana will get it hands down.
Okay.
Let me see.
If that's the point,
Mr. Ajima, you made your point on the subject.
All that I'm trying to say is that we have a strategy that the same person we've been able to defeat twice. And all that I was saying is that it is not difficult to revise our notes.
Okay.
But what is key for us as a political party is to ensure, because we are in power, to ensure that we transform this economy. And our president has come out clearly that the current challenges that we are facing in this country, measures are being put in place to transform the economy. It's clear. And that's our target, is to ensure that we live out to our promise.
Preemptively, 2016, what will the issues be on?
The issues be, it's clear. The issues will be on the economy. President Mahama has messed up the country. President Mahama inherited a country with an inflation of 8.7, but now
we're not in 2016 yet, so I guess he'll be judged by the close of 2016,
definitely. And coming events cast their shadows. His first term as a full-time presidency has proved that he's indecisive, he's incapable, he's inefficient.
His first term. The term has not ended.
I'm saying his first term as a full capacity president. He completed President Mills' terms.
So he was the president for the 4 term, 4 years.
But he assumed presidency during the reigns of President Mills.
That was in July.
Presidency. And I'm telling you, in July, the legacy that was left with him has been destroyed because he wasn't able to sustain. When he came out to give his critical state policy, when he assumed presidency in July 2012, he said that he is putting an economic management team who is going to strengthen the economy, who is going to take hold of the economy. At that time, the inflation was about 8.7%. Now inflation is about 13%. So was he able to achieve it?
Over 13%.
Yeah, it's over 30%. And even before that, he promised that he's going to tighten government spend. And if it's not hidden. We've seen it all that by the end of 2014, Ghana has experienced an excessive spending that has never been experienced before. Okay. Every ministry overspent his budget.
So you're saying 2016 will be about the economy?
Oh, he's letting his boot out. He's going.
Yes.
He's packing.
Yes.
Gentleman
you see, that is the impression.
Even before he comes in. No, listen. During his campaign, he said it that. And NDC for the first time.
You mean Anado's campaign?
No, during President Mohammed's campaign.
Okay.
He said that MPP.
Prior to 22 or before the election?
Before election 2012. He said MPP has a share to rule for 8 years. NDC 1 had 8 years. President Kufuor came.
But that's not the criteria Ghanaians will use.
No, he said it. I'm just making a point. I'm making a reference. And he said President Kufuor also experienced 8 years. So when Professor Mills come, as Professor Mills is dead, we should give them the ultimatum to have the NDC have the under 8 years, and after the 8 years he goes off. So let him finish his reign. He has nothing. He said it on his platform.
No, it's not
he
true.
said it during the campaign. He said it. He said we should give them the time to rule for 8 years, and after 8 years
they are off. What do you think the issues will be in 2012? In 2016?
They have nothing to tell them.
We have. If you look into our manifesto, and if you look on economic policy of this country on year, the key issues are there. We are saying that we are going to transform agriculture sector. We are doing that precisely.
You came.
We are saying that we are going
to.
You are
heckling. No,
and now
Mr.
Cocoa has come down about 2000.
Mr. Ajimai, I gave you the opportunity, so it's good you make all these inferences.
The point I'm trying to make is that we have made specific promise in our manifesto, and we are going strictly according to that. I can move from sector to sector. I have started from agriculture sector, that we want to transfer agriculture sector. We want to reduce and even make Ghana net importer of rice. What I'm trying to say is that we want to increase rice production in this country. And they have started just from 2013 alone. We have increased rice production by 60%.
You said that?
Yes. What I'm trying to say is that before the end of this administration, we have completely reduced importation of rice. That's one key thing that I want you to know. Secondly, we want to transform the agriculture sector. And we are on the verge of doing that. We are increasing all the agriculture sectors in this country to give an abundance of food in this country. That's also another key thing. We made a lot of promises in regard to education. They are focused that by the end of our term, we have finished the completion of the 200 secondary schools in this country. That's a major promise for the people of this country. And we are saying progressively, we are going to make education free. That's another issue. In the area of telecommunication, we are saying that, yes, we want to connect this country, where service provision will be key. That's why you see the e-transform project moving on successfully. I'm talking about e-legislature, which is in progress, e-judiciary is in progress, e-governance is in progress, so that at all levels of government administration we have efficiency. Before I end up, if you go, the fiber optic project that is linking Ho to Garu, we are connecting about 120 towns in the eastern corridor of this country to have a fiber optic broadband service to connect this country, so that administration of this country will be very efficient and effective. That's the promise we give to the people of Ghana.
Daily Grassroots Bank has a story. It says MDG on sanitation attainable by 2015. And yesterday was the launch, the relaunch or rebranding of the logo of the Environmental Service Providers Association. And the president of that association, Dr. Sianwe Japon, said that the current state at which we're managing the environment and our commitment towards sanitation will not enable us meet, that is, next 2 years MDG on sanitation. For instance, Accra's daily waste generation was 2,500 metric tons, and collection is at 75% efficiency. Kampala in Uganda had a daily waste generation of 1,500 tons with a collection efficiency of 40%. Meanwhile, Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia generates about 5,100 tons, but collection efficiency was 80%. And they are even able to use all that into something else, add some value to it. How critical should we take waste generation? We all live in Accra, Kumasi, Tamale, etc. And the type of waste that we generate.
I think this brought the emergence of these waste management companies being contracted to collect waste from individuals' home, and they were being paid by the assemblies or the municipal authorities. This issue is a critical one for the nation.
Why?
Because if they, from the percentage volumes that you mentioned, the image, the future looks bleak, and it's critical for the nation to take a decision, to take a critical decision. Other than that, the target will not be achieved as they said. For me, what can take care of this is to move from the normal way that you collect bin and you burn them somewhere to a proper recycling. Let's get a production unit that we will take.
For example, I know that, for example, the Zoom Lion Group, they have a plastic recycling plant somewhere around Ajinkotoku, and they have one also they are constructing somewhere just to ensure there's proper recycling in Kumasi.
It shouldn't be just plastic.
No, of course.
There are other organic waste and all that, food waste. They can be recycled into fertilizers, into other for the use of other things. And for me, if we can use this end product for something better for the nation, and all the time we hang on this target and we see that they are unattainable, and we try not to find solutions to it, then we don't deserve to be in the offices that we are occupying. We've been voted to position to solve problems.
To bring a change.
To bring a change. for me, we should take critical decisions. Invest in distance. I remember I was driving from Brescia to Modena last year,
in Italy?
October, in Italy, and I got to a point that there was this huge plant, and there were a smell out there, and I asked the man who I was driving with, and asked him what was happening there, and he told me these are the waste, and they are recycling all those things to give to the farmers around the area.
For manure?
For manure, to till their land and all that. And I think we who confess that we are an agric-prone nation, if we let this thing run down the drain without them being used to generate manure and other input for our farmers, then what are we talking about? We try to import huge sums of fertilizer. We spend a whole lot of our incomes on fertilizer, with subsidies on fertilizer. Then at the end of the day, we have materials that we can use to generate all these things. Roland, I was part of the workers who work on this outdoor drainage. The engineers brought up an idea of dredging the
outdoor drain.
The drain. So we constructed an outlet that can allow vehicles to enter into the drain, and the excavator will fetch the debris and any unwanted material into the bucket, and they moved out of the drainage. Since 2003 that I left the company, I haven't for once seen any truck gone into the drain to tilt it. And these are things that were made with taxpayers' money. Those engineering, those architecture came with a cost. And if we are not using it, they all come back to not attain our target. Because if you dredge and you have a free flow of water, those waste can be used for other things. It also gives you good environment. That channel could have been even used to solve our transport problems. You put a small boat in it, somebody traveling from Achimota to Kole, you just sit in it.
Now it's sand. If you put the boat to get stuck.
Even debris can pass. How
much more? Okay, so it means that what should be our commitment? Already we spend money, especially at the district assembly level, the metropolitan agency, etc., in servicing waste. The point is that people's attitude also need to change. Separation of waste in the house is critical. When you go to the UK, you go to elsewhere in Europe and the US, the way they treat waste is different. Our mindset, is it because we're black people? Why?
Yes, before I move on to that, I would like to say that, you see, yes, it's a fact that in the area of sanitation, we have a lot to do in this country. That's one. But it is not that that is not the only MDG goals that we have. But you know, we're acknowledged recently as one of the countries that made the MDG goals on hunger and malnutrition before 2015. And in the area of health, we are also almost there. So yes, in the area of sanitation, we are not doing very well. But this is one thing critical. What is critical is that waste. I have a difficulty. One, because of our own attitude. The way we manage our waste in this country. Secondly, you see, waste is supposed to be something that will bring revenue to the even generator of the waste. But because we don't have people who purchased it, like as my colleagues is saying, if we have a compost plant that is supposed to turn the waste into manure or compost for sale, then those companies, at least we have a very big one compost plant in this country, then we don't even need to pay waste collectors again, because they were like the case of plastic waste. Now if you have a plastic waste, they are buying it.
Yeah.
Yes. What I know is that we have a number of the recycling plants that have been put, Blow Plus and the one put down by Zoom
because they are in the system now.
Yes.
People are now gathering plastic waste. When they come, then they will buy. The same thing applies if you have a compost plant that turn the waste into compost of a fertilizer.
Also under construction by Zoom Lion, I believe.
Yes. So
and the other waste companies also are helping. That is why we have the environmental.
So if you have one or two of such and they are going around, then anybody who is having waste in the house will try to, because you know that it's going to get some amount of money from that waste.
Okay, so the waste is purchased.
Yes. Because
that is the one that has been sorted.
Yes. So if you have a polythene bag, if you go around, I mean in the rural community like my constituents and all that, you see people gathering the sachet water in a very big plastic bags. They wait, and when the people come, they sell it. So you see that is reducing the level of the plastic waste around, because you see people picking them at any point in time, gathering them at a particular place for them to purchase. If we are able to have at least 1 or 2 compost plants, which is also going around, that will even reduce the amount of money the MMDCs and MMDs spend on this waste, because the person is going around looking for it. He's going around looking for it. So in the first place, if I gather it for you nicely, you must give me something back. So the concentration, I have a difficulty. You see, that's why I was thinking that some of the interventions honestly must come from government. Some of the interventions, like the compost plant, because the amount of money we pay waste collectors, if you have a compost plant such that they will go and purchase the compost.
I don't think government, even tall governments having difficulty managing some of them.
No, we're talking about spending money on paying AMA. Okay. The amount of money they pay the waste collectors.
Well, every city in the world, when you go to Amsterdam, they pay waste collectors. Yeah. You go to Frankfurt, everywhere they pay waste collectors. No, so I think that the point is, do you think that as a people we need to put the situation into context? Because, for example, the World Bank is saying in its 2012 report that sanitation costs Ghana annually $290 million. That is left uncollected, etc. Not even the ones that the 60 million we're using to do the servicing. All right. And if we continue like this for the next 10 years, in excess, what is how the economy is going to get affected is enormous. We're going to lose in excess 7.5 billion Ghana cedis over the 10 years.
Roland, I believe strongly that we can do, yes, maybe the city centers. I'm talking about the marketplaces. For those one, it can be a responsibility of government. Even that one, we can still manage such that nobody is always coming to dump waste, because it happens in homes where you will come and pick the waste and you pay them on monthly basis. So if you have a very nice container or big containers in the marketplaces where everybody who's coming to dump some waste pays an amount of token, it's done. It's done everywhere, even in residential areas. It's done. Where do you have containers in every home? When they come on monthly basis, you pay them something. That will reduce that cost. That's what I'm saying. That yes, government, the burden on government in collection of waste is too high. I was thinking that if in any case at all, if government should spend money on collection of waste, it should be for public places like lorry stations and then marketplaces, but not in our residential homes. You see, so that's the bottom line. If we can ensure that we put the assemblies put appropriate measures in place such that every house has been